Ken Pyle at Parks Associates Connections Conference at CTIA with Tomasz Smilowicz of Citi. Now, Citi, of course, being the banking enterprise, worldwide operations, and you were just on a panel talking about mobile payments. And one of the things that I found fascinating was the fact that different markets have different progress. I guess they have different needs. And why don't you tell us briefly about what you've seen in your role as far as the progress of mobile payments?
Absolutely, Ken. So I think there are a few important distinctions. I think when you look at the world, and as you might know, Citi is present in more than 100 countries, so I think we have a good overview what is happening in the mobile payment space, in the mobile commerce space, and I think there are a few important distinctions. First of all, when you look at the world, you have two important groups of countries. There is a group of countries that are emerging countries, and these countries have a very different needs than the countries that are developed countries like US, Japan, Korea. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the developing countries, generally the solutions are very attractive for the market because actually very significant part of the market in developing countries is unbanked. So whether you look at the small businesses, medium-sized businesses, whether you look at consumers, many of these players of the economy do not have a bank accounts. So when you create mobile payment solutions, you actually create something that they don't have alternative for. So suddenly you are creating for them possibility to access financial system in an electronic way, which was not available to them before. And I can give you some of the examples. Let me give you two. First one, we actually launched something that we call Mobile Collect in China, in India. We actually also launched it in South Korea, where actually we are helping companies like Coca-Cola and others collect money from small and mid-sized stores. In the past, they used to do it through basically the payment form was cash. Today, they can do it through a mobile phone. So suddenly, stores can pay through mobile phone to them. On other note, we've been working with many players, but this also includes USAID, which is United States Agency for International Development, and basically USAID distributes money across the world to help most countries that are most in need to send actually money to some needing individuals. And in the past, they used to distribute this money in form of cash. Today, we're working with them to convert that into mobile. So actually, they can start to send money to individuals, and individuals can start to receive these financial aids to their cell phone, which I think is pretty amazing. And there is very, very high acceptance of that solutions across the world.
And so I imagine that just takes away layers of middlemen, if you will, and also kind of the leakage of getting that money from the donor to the people who really need it.
You are absolutely right, and it's amazing benefit for all of the players. It's amazing benefit for the economy because first of all, when you look at the global economy in emerging markets, cost of handling cash is between 0.7 to 1.4 of the GDP of given country. So converting all of that into electronic can just simply make the economies more efficient. Mm-hmm. And furthermore, as you rightly said, actually there are big costs for consumers. In many cases, there are many middlemen, but also for small businesses and mid-sized businesses. So by creating mobile payments, mobile solutions, and introducing them, actually you make all of those players more efficient, you save money for them, and of course they love it.
Well, I imagine too, security. I would think you could make a more secure system too.
You are absolutely right, and actually you make a much more secure system for big players and for small players and for individuals. In some of these emerging markets, having cash in your pocket is just simply unsafe. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, if you have your money connected to your cell phone, then obviously it requires certain passwords, certain security challenges, certain security solutions that assure that even if somebody steals your phone, he cannot use your money, right? So it's safer, and it's very much the same if you look at the solution that I described earlier. So generally in emerging markets, small and mid-sized stores had the challenges with keeping lots of cash in the store to pay for goods that were delivered to the store, and obviously this was potential risk for somebody robbing the store. Today, they don't have to keep that much money in the store, because since they can pay through mobile to Coca-Cola and other players, they don't need to keep all of that cash in the store. And of course, because of that, they do not anymore become a target for potential robberies and so on. So you create lots of value for all of the players across the economy in developing markets. And I think it's a fantastic place to be in.
And I imagine from a company like Citi, it's probably a huge deal, because now you're probably able to also provide maybe some of the microloans and those sorts of things to players that otherwise you wouldn't be able to serve. Is that?
You are absolutely right. I mean, we Citi, we don't provide microloans directly, but actually we work with microloan providers that we work with them. So, and actually, by the way, Citi is also supporting some of the microloan providers. So actually, it's financing some of the microloans. So we maybe don't give microloans to individuals, but we work financially with companies that give microloans to individuals. So in a way, we took a wholesale approach in that context. But you're absolutely right. It's a very important part of the process that we call financial inclusion, where you bring in individuals that were outside of the financial system, and you bring them into financial system, and you introduce different financial instruments for them that can work for them.
Well, and staying kind of on that level, the idea of the unbanked, is that an opportunity in the developed countries in the U.S.? I imagine there's, 5-10% of the population is probably unbanked here. It's a sizable number, right?
It is a sizable number, but it's not as big number as you have in other countries, right? If you look at countries like Mexico, China, there's more than 50% of people who are unbanked, right? Frequently you have countries where you have 70-80% of the unbanked population. So in that context, of course, that's a huge opportunity. In US, of course, it's a 5%, but it's not that big number. So my personal view is that in US, to attract consumers, you really need to create desirable solutions, right? In emerging markets, you are addressing people's needs. Okay. In US, most of the people have lots of financial instruments, right? They have credit cards, they have bank accounts, so they have lots of options. So in order to introduce something new, it has to be desirable, it has to be more attractive than what they have available today.
And what's going to make it more attractive?
I think that generally, and this is both in a big business, in a small business, and in consumer space, I think use of data. So the better we understand consumers, and when I say consumer, I mean every type of a consumer. So whether it's big corporation, whether it's a mid-sized corporation, small-sized corporation, or individual consumer, making good use of data will make us more successful in terms of creating value for consumers, because we'll understand them better and then make solutions for them more attractive, make some recommendations, make some offers that are just very, very attractive for each of that category of consumers.
Sure, you can customize it much more to the...
Exactly, and I think the companies that will be good at making use of the data of their respective consumer groups will become very successful, and I think consumers will also appreciate that. All of that, of course, keeping in mind consumer data privacy, and again, be that business or individual consumers. So, of course, it will have to be, in my opinion, on the opt-in model, where consumers would want to accept that, not something where you start to bombard consumers with some offers, because that way I think you can make them just frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you seeing, as far as age groups, or what are you seeing the adoption of the mobile payments? Is there one group more than another?
It is interesting that if I was looking at the world, I would say first of all, emerging markets so far has been much faster adopters than developed markets. Secondly, our observation is, for whatever reason, it seems like men tend to be earlier adopters than women, and be that even in case of business solutions, we see more men using our mobile payments solutions. And then generally, it would be also true that probably not the youngest, but younger generation of users tend to adopt mobile payments, mobile solutions in general faster.
In the developed countries, U.S., is it just that inertia factor? You pointed out earlier, there's already good ways to make payments, so you need to give me something to break that inertia.
And if you think about it, again, it's true for consumers, it's true for mid-sized businesses, and it's true for big corporations. All of those players have lots of options today, how to send money, how to receive money. So you need to really create something cool, something attractive for them to start to accept it.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of smart people working on that, so I will stay tuned.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you very much, Ken. It was nice talking to you.
Likewise.